For anyone who's been wondering where I've been, I'm sure nobody has, but got a very late start to the gardening season. And I do know that a lot of Illinois pumpkin farmers don't even plant their pumpkins till July, so I'm trying not to worry about it. But here's my pumpkins for this year. This over here is, I can't see what I'm doing here, so we're back to the old problems. This is Corvette. It's a short vine, but not short season pumpkin, and it is supposedly very, very resistant to powdery mildew. So we'll see how that does. That's a new one for me. This one is one that I've grown in years past. It's another short vine and powdery mildew resistant pumpkin. It's called Magic Lantern. And as I remember, it was my favorite for a couple of years. A lot of people don't like it because it tends to have weak handles, but that doesn't bother me. I'm not a commercial grower, so. Anyway, in the germination derby, Corvette actually came first, but now it doesn't have 100% germination, and Magic Lantern does. So those will be our pumpkins. They're going to go into this space. And another thing that stopped me from doing anything this year was I was going to, I have 6 more of these big planters, and I was going to put them over here. And what stopped me was the expense of filling them. It's going to be at least $200 to fill them up, and I just can't spare it right now. You know how that goes. Sorry about the messy garage there. Yeah, so they're going to be in the ground. I'm going to spread some garden soil over the top just to make sure that the soil is good, because if you watched last year, you'll remember I had a total disaster. Nothing grew at all. I ended up with 1 pumpkin out of 8 vines last year. And I forget which pumpkin I grew. I'm not going to blame it on the pumpkin, because I did a lot of things that could have caused that to happen. And also the neighbor had a walkway put in with pavers, and they were grinding the pavers before they put them in, and there was dust all over everything for a couple of weeks, and I have a feeling that that had something to do with it too. So plus I covered the garden with paper, and I have a feeling that didn't help either. So it was just a rolling disaster last year. This year, now that the temperature's finally warmed up, we're looking at sunflowers, by the way. I'm drawing short sunflowers this year. I had kind of enough of the big ones that they look kind of ugly, so we're just going to have a little sunflower garden this year. But I forgot what I was saying. That's okay. Alright, so I think this is my interesting tomato here that comes up in my garden every year for the last couple of years. It's an heirloom of some kind, and I don't know how it got here. And this one is either a big beef, or it might be one of my, yeah, it's probably a big beef. It might be one of my cherry tomatoes that have been here since I've been here. And I've been here 5 years now, or 6 years. And those just come up on their own every year too. Here are Bush Champion cucumbers, and they are in the same old container that I was going to throw out because nothing ever does very well in here, but I emptied it and I refilled it, so hopefully they'll have a good year in here. And they beat the pumpkins. They were planted the same day. They beat the pumpkins by about 4 days coming up. So anyway, this year the weather has been like July. ever since it finally warmed up a few weeks back. And it's doing the peppers a lot of good. It's doing just about everything a lot of good. Yeah, it's better than struggling with cold weather. This is a tame or tam jalapeno. It's slightly spicy, but not gonna burn your mouth out. And this is big beef, my favorite. Got 4 of those plants this year, and I grew them from tiny little plants from a flat that I bought. So they're seeming to do well. And these guys, this is a full Jew jalapeno, and I grew these from seed, which it's not easy to grow peppers from seed. You're not supposed to use any peat at all, and avoiding peat while growing seeds is very difficult. But that is one of them. This is garbage I have to get rid of. And this is the other one. And there's a few others that are growing with the tomatoes. And here is a pepper. It's a sweet pepper that I have never heard of before. It's called Melrose. Supposedly native to Chicago via Italy. Came with Italian immigrants and grows quite well in Chicago. And it was a big plant when I got it. I think there's already a pepper on it. It's supposed to be very sweet with no heat at all. So I enjoy those as well as less spicy jalapenos. So I'm going to be trying those out. So yeah, that's the garden so far this year. And hopefully I'll see you next week. Take care.